fantastic. Just look at that beef keema pie made, and a nice cucumber mint raita, and a few chips, obvious. Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. Look at that. That is exceptional. That is keema pie. Look at that. Let's show you how to do it. Come on. Very easy to make. We're using ready roll pastry, short crust and puff pastry. Now, it is my pastry apart from the puff pastry, but ready rolled straight from the supermarket. Bang, we've got it cracked. I've got some beef mince, okay? It's a beef keema pie. Very basic ingredients altogether for this. And it's a quick fry off in the pan just to cook that beef before it goes in the pie. We have an onion, garlic, ginger, a couple of hot chilies, some tomatoes, and we have the world famous OXO stock cube. An array of spices. It's very easy to do. Let's get on and do it. Come on. So what we will do very quickly, we'll just give our little OXO cube a squidging up in there. Now, we don't want too much liquid. We want about 1/4 cup actually. So this is boiling water, so I'm watching what I'm doing. We only want about that much, look. So just give that a little stir. That should dissolve. I'm just going to put that to one side because I tend to knock things over like that these days. Right, our ingredients then, very basic. We've got a couple of hot chilies, tomatoes, ginger. We'll just run a knife over this ginger. Now you can use minced ginger or garlic ginger paste, anything like that. So we're just going to bob that in a tub. We've got a little bit of garlic. Obviously, garlic is one of those things you either want to put it in or you don't, but it belongs in this dish. So it's up to you. We are making a curry after all. Now you can mince and mince and mince as much as you want, that's up to you. Onion, you want some onion? Cubed. Cube as big or small as you like, entirely up to you. In a tub. A little bit of tomato, and we want to be cubing our tomato. Now, it doesn't matter how big or small you go on the tomato. It will probably break down. If it doesn't break down, we end up with some nice tomato colour in there. It's not really for flavour. These are like salad tomatoes, and quite honestly, they're rubbish. They don't carry much flavour these days. Now we will be using a tablespoon of tomato puree, tomato paste, to give us the tomato flavour. This is just going to give us little bits of tomato in the pie, to be honest. A couple of chilies. Now these things are red hot. A couple of green chilies are definitely optional. If you don't want to use them, don't use them. In on the tomatoes, they can go in together. Do not touch anything with chili hands. Okay, so what we're doing now is cooking off the ingredients, letting them go cool so we can put in our pastry. So let's get prepped up. Okay, it's a bog standard curry start. In there with a couple of tablespoons of oil. Oil of choice, up to you. Flame on. Now it's the usual type curry start with this. Okay, it's very straightforward. We just warm that pan a little minute, warm that oil. I should get it in there with cumin seeds. Now, do not cook too much. We don't want to burn any of these things. In there, garlic ginger. Fabulous. In there with our spices. Curry powder, turmeric, garam masala, chili powder. Be careful of the chili powder, it's entirely whatever you like. A little whiz round. Now we don't have this too hot. We don't want to burn any of this, but we do want to cook out the rawness and bloom the spices. Tomatoes and chili in there. Onion in there. Ooh-wee. Smell that. In there with our mince. Start to break your mince up in there and cook that with your tomatoes and onion. And don't worry about being rough, just get it mashed in there. You know, it doesn't matter how it goes in. Squash it in, press it down, break up your mince, start to cook. It smells a bit spicy, I must admit. In there with some salt. I'm going to go in there with some black pepper. Okay, we want to be adding about a tablespoon of tomato puree. A little stir in, put that tomato flavour through there. Let it start to cook out the rawness of the tomato. Get rid of the sourness. Now you can add about a teaspoon of sugar to this if you so wish, to balance the tomato. Well, a little bit of coriander in there, or cilantro, whatever you know it by. So if you're going to add a cup of frozen peas, now's the time that you would add it. I'm not going to add it, I'm probably going to serve it with it. But you know, you put in your frozen peas now. Stir it through. It smells absolutely amazing. Now, we are making a pie. And if we put that in the pie, we're going to have a fairly dry mix. This is why we mixed up that oxo, and we're going to add that to that. And that's going to give us like a curry beef broth inside our pie. Little stir in. That looks and smells fantastic. That's it for me. We don't take it any further. We want a nice moist mince filling inside our pie, and that is good enough. Wow. We're going to let that cool, and we're going to put our pastry together and make our pie. Now we want a little bit of flour on there, obviously. Now we're using a combination of pastries. We want a nice short crust base and side, and we want puff pastry top. And this pastry, by the way, has been frozen. So let's get this out of here. We might have to screw it up all together. Right, the only other thing is I am lining out my tin. I always line out the tin for pies. It's just when it comes to taking it out, you just pop out the pie. Not a problem. So it's entirely up to you whether you line it or not. But I always line. Right, that is obviously not going to fit that. So let's squidge this up together and we're going to give it a rolling. A little bit on the pin and let's get going. Nice and gently with it being frozen. It's not frozen now, but with it being frozen, you know, it could feel a little bit dry, susceptible for tearing, but don't worry about it, you know, come on. It's only pastry. Now, that is big enough, but it feels a little bit thin. And I can see a couple of places where we joined it together and it might tear. If it tears, push it back together. Don't worry about it. Right, we're going to get that in there. So, there's no other way than just chucking it in. In it goes. Just whack it down there. Leave a little bit of an overhang if you can, if you have enough pastry. If you don't worry. Just stick some on and make an overhang. Just work it round. Nice and steady. You know, I'm clumsy these days, so... But, you know, if I can do it, you can. Come on. So, there we have our pie. Or our pie base and sides. Amazing. So, you know what's coming next, don't you? We've got to shove all our mix in there. So, in it goes. I must admit I could just eat this on rice. It smells absolutely amazing. Grab yourself a spoon. Gently, gently. We don't need to squash the heck out of it. Just push it down. We have to make a decision with our puff pastry. Now, I tell you what I want to do. I want to do something different actually. Now, we could lattice it and spread it over, but I think we're going to cut it up. That should be interesting, shouldn't it? So, we're going to take our pastry like that. So, we have to decide, we want some cubes, roughly the same size, mark out. And only roughly, let's not go crazy on it. We can go roughly mark out on there, like that. And we can roughly mark out on there like that. Yeah, that'll do it. Something like that. So now we've got these daft squares and you're going to think, what is he doing? In fact, I'm thinking, what is he doing? We're going to get those on there. Okay, we're going to make a pie top. This is how we're going to do this. Yeah, we're going to trim that like that because we don't want all this excess. Not for what we're going to do now. See, this is what cooking's all about. If it doesn't quite go to plan, change it. Simple. Absolutely simple. Okay. So, what we are going to do, because we're making this up as we go along, as per usual, we need to get that puff pastry on there. We need to fold in the sides. So, we do it like this. Here we go. Start like that. And then we're going to do this on there. We're going to overlap it. Okay. Let's move this so you can see. This will be interesting. So in here we've only got some water, and what we're doing is we're dabbing the water on the end of there like that. And we're making this up as we go along. Completely. As per usual. Now we're going to cook it sort of like an open pie. That's the plan. If this works out, it'll be a miracle. See, the thing is with puff pastry, it's going to rise anyway. It's going to puff up. So we're not bothered what it looks like going down like that, because when it puffs up, it's going to change shape anyway. Okay, that'll have to do. We've got that like that. Now we're going to fold our pastry over. Now just bring it down nice and gently and fold it over like that. Now we need to put a little bit of an edge on there, obviously. We've got no fancy edge on. We're going to have a fancy top. So this is hard work. So we're going to do this. Squash, squash, squash down towards the puff pastry. So it's not a normal crimp as such, but we're going to go around like this first, and then we're just going to just sort of like flick it over the top like that. Look, can you see? Can you see how that's coming? So we're going to go over there like that. Now it doesn't matter if you don't go all the way around and it's not neat. No one cares. Okay? By the time you come round to slicing the pie, no one's going to look at this. That looks fabulous. We want some egg wash. Now, egg wash in this top. Be careful not to get too much down behind. Don't worry about slapping it on there. It's gonna cook on there, not a problem. It'll give a nice little sheen on there. Don't worry about it going on your meaty bit in the middle. That's absolutely fine. Now while we're doing this, I should have said you've got to get the oven on. So I'm going to get the oven on, and we're going to go for about 180. Let it warm up. For those that are interested, it's on the toast setting. Now always with your pie, put it on a tray. Always, because if it bubbles over or leaks through the bottom, anything like that, you do not want to be cleaning the oven. So there we are. So fingers crossed, we're going to see what that looks like. We've just made it up as we go along. Let's have that in there. We're going to do about 20 minutes. In fact, we'll do 25. There we go, that's end hot. Let's have that out of there. Let's have a look. Come on. Come on. Just look at that. Absolutely fabulous. That is absolutely sensational. So for this one today, I'm going to let this cool right down because I want to serve this with chips and Raita. But it looks absolutely fabulous. When it's cooled down enough, we'll pop it out, have a look at it, and we'll just carry on. Look at that. Fantastic. Okay, so what we need with this then, I think we need a quick Raita. We're going to do a cucumber Raita. Now, we don't want all the seeds inside, so we need to be coming down there. Nice and steady. I'm going to take the seeds out, or the majority of seeds. If you've got some in, it doesn't matter, but that's where all the water is, so we don't need that. Now I am going to leave the skin on, but you can peel if you so wish. That's your choice. Now we want to be cubing these nice and small. Nice and steady. And then it's just a case of, we want some cubed. That's all it is, just cube it. That is natural yogurt, and that goes in there. This is coriander or cilantro, whatever you know it by. A nice mince over there. What about a tablespoon in there? Fresh mint leaves. We're using fresh, but you know, you can use a teaspoon of garden mint Coleman's. That will do, but you're going to bring it with some vinegar. But not to worry, we're going to add lemon juice to this anyway. In there, a little squeeze in there. You want about up to a tablespoon. You don't want to go too much more unless you actually like that really sour taste in there. And then we got a few little spices. We got cumin, chaat masala, coriander and chili. Big stir up, get it all mixed in there. Got a little bit of pepper. Now if you've actually used Coleman's mint sauce, it could be a little bit sour because obviously you're carrying the vinegar through, and you might have to add half a teaspoon of sugar. Now this does not require any sugar whatsoever. That's lovely. Okay, let's take our pie. It's been stood there about 25 minutes actually. It's warm but not hot. Oh, that came off straight away, didn't it? Look at that. Oh, what a fabulous, fabulous pie. So just look at that. That is superb. Look there. Our pastry worked out all right. We've got a nice little bit of crispiness going on inside with that mince. Let's get in. Oh, look at that. Oh, let's have that off there. Some of that lovely Raita. Oh, look at that. Just look at that beef keema pie made, and a nice cucumber mint Raita. And a few chips, obviously. Come on, come on. Keema pie. Now, don't forget, like I say, I didn't put peas in here on purpose today. You know, peas are optional. I didn't want peas with a mint Raita. Let's get in here. What does it taste like? That is off the charts. That is absolutely beautiful. What a fantastic pie. Oh. Now this is one of those meals I cannot stop eating. It is right up my alley. It is a fantastic flavour. Tiny bit of heat. Now there you go. If you like what we're doing, share with your friends. This is definitely worth making. This is superb. Share with your friends, share all over, help the channel grow. A big thumbs up. Like and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel and we'll catch you in the next video.